All right, class. So today is Tuesday the 13th. Tuesday the 13th. The agenda is on the board. You don't have to write the agenda part, but I need you to write the homework. We are going to go over the warm up real quickly. I'm going to write the homework down in the planner. I'm going to model how to solve inequalities. Very similar to solving equations. Very similar to solving equations, but I'm going to do that. And you're going to do some practice with that. If we have time, I want you to finish the partner work we started yesterday. Okay. The homework for tonight, we need to complete Tuesday's homework that we're getting ready to label in the packet. Don't forget that if you need help to watch the homework video, help video, I'm sending it through Remind at 2 o'clock, and it's also on Canvas. All right. Planner, remember that if you are looking for ways to add extra credit points to your grade, um, this is how you add extra credit points to your grade, your planner stuff. All right, we've already written down what our goal for this week is going to be. My goal, I just wrote down an example, complete work. I'm making sure that you understand the homework, help videos, and where everything is located. That's my goal as your teacher. Today is Tuesday. Please check off. If you watched the video last night, check that off. If you completed the homework, you can check that off. Studied notes, check that off. If you didn't, then don't check it off. Okay. Today's Tuesday. We're writing Math 1 again. Okay, we have another homework help video that we can watch. That's always optional. Complete homework. Please make sure that you complete the homework whether you watch the video or not. And we do need to study our notes. Remember, we have a quiz at the end of the week on expressions, solving expressions and equations. So we need to make sure that we understand how to solve expressions and equations. Yes, babe. It's always the work is in on the back wall. It's the yellow folder. We're in week 3. So it's the third folder. Okay. Any questions? Please make sure you write down your homework. Let's look at the warm-up, please. Bless you.
Thank you.
We're solving equations. What's the first step in solving equations here? What are we going to do first? Anybody remember? Yes. Very good. Do we have distributive property? Yes, we do. So we're going to multiply 1/2, -1/2 times both numbers in the parentheses. Okay, so what's a -1/2 times the 5n? Negative, we got 5/2, 5/2 n. I'm going to write it as a fraction because when I solve equations, it's going to be much easier for me to get rid of this fraction by multiplying by the reciprocal on both sides, okay? So I'm going to keep it as a fraction. What's a negative times a negative? We got a positive. What's half of 14? 7. Bring down. If you convert it to a decimal, it's fine to convert as a decimal, okay? Yes. Yes, ma'am. I can. Is that a little better, baby? Is that okay? All right. So now what are we going to do to solve for n? Yes. Excellent, babe. We're going to subtract 7 from both sides. When we subtract 7 from this side, this is 0, and we're left with negative 5/2 n. Bring down the equal. What's 52 minus 7? Okay. Now what are we going to do to get n by itself? Divide by this fraction. When you divide by a fraction, that's the same as doing what? multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of negative 5 over 2? Negative 2 over what? 5. Okay. Here we got a negative times a negative. That's going to be a positive. If we multiply straight across, it's 10 over 10. What's 10 over 10 equal to? 1, or just that one n. So we got n equals, let's multiply. I'm going to do this over to the side. Oops, sorry, y'all. We have 45 over 1. We got times negative 2 over 5. I'm going to reduce diagonally. How do I reduce this? How can I cancel this out? What can I divide both 45 and 5 by? So when I divide 45 divided by 5, what does that give me? 9. 5 divided by 5. Say it again. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. 1. I think you said 1, right? 9 times a negative 2. Multiply straight across. What's 9 times negative 2? Negative 18. And what's 1 times 1? 1. Okay? Don't be afraid to be wrong. This is going to give me negative 18 as my answer. Okay? Anyone get that right? Yes.
I did it differently, but I got a 6.
Good. It's more than one way to solve the problem. Just make sure you use the correct math.
What's correct? This way?
No. If you do whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the opposite side. You just need to make sure you do the math right. Don't just, make up your own stuff.
I guess I did it right.
Yeah, then you're fine. It's okay.
I just go right into a decimal.
Remember I said that at the beginning, it's okay to do a decimal.
I just didn't know.
Yeah. Anybody else? Number 2. All right, what are we going to do here first? What are we going to do here first? Yes, go ahead.
What's it called?
I don't know. You tell me. Anybody want to help? Yes, babe. Distributive property.
That's what it's called.
What are we going to distribute in this problem? The negative. So we have 28. And what do we get here when we distribute the negative? Negative 2x. And what do we get here? Negative, not 22.
Oh, like negative 11.
Negative 11. You okay, baby? I'd rather for you to say something than nothing at all, okay? Please don't be afraid to be wrong. I'm going to be wrong plenty of times.
I don't like
You can't. That's the thing that makes me successful is the fact that I'm not afraid to be wrong. You got to take risk. If you don't take risk or take chances in life, you're going to stay in the same place. Okay? And if you're okay with staying in the same place, keep doing what you're doing because you're going to be right there. But if you want to get further in life, you got to be willing to take a chance. You got to be willing to be wrong. Okay? The more mistakes that you make, the more options or opportunities you have to fix those mistakes and gain something and be better. But you can't gain if you're not willing to lose. You just can't. Okay? All right. So here we're going to combine like terms. What terms can we combine here? 28 and 11. So what's 28 minus 11? We got 17. Positive, negative? Positive. Don't be afraid to be wrong, okay? You're going to hear me say a lot of crazy stuff, seriously. All right, so what do we do here? What's the next step?
You subtract 17.
You're going to subtract. How do we know to subtract 17? Because it's a positive. Excellent. Okay. What's 17 minus 17? 0. All right. What's negative 45 minus 17? Negative 60 what? 2. Now what are we going to do to get x by itself? We're going to divide. So now when we divide, what are we going to divide by? We're going to divide by negative 2. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 gives us what? Not 1, not 0, but 1, right? because negative 2 goes into negative 2 one time. So this is 1x. Okay? And then for me, when you say the wrong answer, that helps me to know where your thinking is so I can go back and correct that. Okay, yeah, I mean, you got to. That's the only way I'm going to know. Otherwise, I'm thinking, I really don't know what they're thinking. I do not really know how to help them. So when you say that, it really does help me, point me in the right direction as to what I need to say to help you. Yes, baby. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right when you started, like on the second row, right at 17.
Oh, got you. So right here, on this side right here, we can combine the 28 minus 11. So when you subtract, when you say 28 minus 11, that's how we got to 17.
Yeah, no, I got that. I was just saying, like, after that, I got you.
Oh, okay. Did you see how we brought this down? Were you okay with that?
Yeah, I got that.
And this and that. Okay. So now we got to get x by itself. So it's two things over here that we got to get rid of: the 17 and the negative 2. So we need to get rid of the 17 first because we subtract to move it. And we're subtracting because it's a positive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we did next. Okay. Are you okay with that now?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. So that's why I crossed it out because this is 0. And then we're left with negative 2x here. And we get negative 62. Do you understand how we got negative 62?
Yeah, minus 17 is 45.
Okay. All right. And then do you understand why we're dividing both sides by negative 2?
Oh, yeah, because
That's okay, baby. The operation that's between a number and a variable is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So in order to undo this, to get x by itself, you have to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So you're going to divide both sides by the negative 2. Are you okay with that part?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for telling me. And so this is going to give you x on this side. What is negative 62 divided by a negative 2? Positive, somebody said it.
Positive 31.
Positive 31. Okay. All right. You got it? Did you get it right?
Oh, I meant like 3 or 4. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. All right, so let's look at number 3. Number 3 is long. Number 3 and 4 is long problem, right? All you got to do is just take your time and do a little bit at a time. So let's look at this side over here. What are we going to do first? Okay, distributive property. What are we going to distribute? What number are we multiplying? Positive 3. So we're just going to do one step at a time, okay? So what's positive 3 times 10? So we got positive 30, right? And what's positive 3 times a negative 9x? Positive or negative? Negative 27x. Let's bring everything down, okay? Are y'all okay with me bringing everything down? Is everybody okay with distributive property? Okay. Anthony, are you okay? You sure? Okay. All right, so now, you want me to pause real quick? It is. So now, what are we going to do next? Combine like terms. I don't know who said it, but good job. Sit up, please. Guys, sit up. All right, so let's combine like terms. What terms are we combining here? Very good. So when I add or combine these together, what does that give me? Negative 31x. Very good, y'all. So this is gone. I'm going to bring this down, okay? What else? Is there anything else I can combine? Let's go ahead and combine that. We could have did that in the whole step, right? So let's add, what's 17 plus 30? 47. All right, so now what are we going to do to get x by itself? Subtract 47 on both sides. That's okay. All right, so we're going to subtract 47 on both sides. This is gone, right? This is 0. And we're left with a negative 31x here is equal to what on the other side? 1, somebody, 24. Okay. Now what are we going to do? Divide both sides by negative 31. Good job. Okay. What's negative 31 divided by negative 31? 1x. Good job. Or we can just put x, right? And I forgot what that was. Did anybody divide that? And what did you get? Negative 4. Okay. How many people got that right? Okay, that's all right. All right, let's do the last one. Okay, this one's another long one. And we're going to be all right because we're going to take it one step at a time. What's the first step that we do here? Distributive property. What are we going to distribute? So we got negative 3. We're going to multiply times both numbers. Sorry, it's a little crunched up here, okay? And what else are we going to distribute? The negative. Good job, baby. So we got negative 3 times 4y. What does that give you? I'm going to bring it down a little bit so we can have some space, okay? What's negative 3 times a positive 7? Okay. What's negative times 5? What's a negative times a negative 3? Why? Bring down the equal. Bring down the negative 8. Is everybody okay with this line? I'm going to pause real quickly. I see some people still writing. I don't want to lose anybody, okay? Okay. Good question. Somebody say it again. Yes, a negative. Oops. You okay, baby? A negative times a negative is a positive.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. All right. What's the next step? Combine like terms. Good job, babe. What terms can we combine?
Negative 12y, positive 3y.
And what does that give us?
9y. Negative 9y. Oh my. Is that right?
What's wrong? You okay?
No, I have to.
Okay. All right. What else? You're fine. It's not supposed to be easy all the time. And what does that give you?
Negative 12.
Oops. I was going to write 6. Okay, good deal. Now what do we do to get y by itself? So you add 26 on both sides. This gives you negative 9y is equal to what?
18.
Okay, good deal. Now what are you going to do to get y by itself? Excellent. What's negative 9 divided by negative 9? 1y. Very good. Or just y. You're right. And what's 18 divided by negative 9? Raise your hand if you got that right. Oh, that's good, y'all. That's better. Okay. Any questions? Anthony, do you have any questions about anything, babe? Are you sure? Okay. Guys at the first table, do y'all have any questions about anything? Are you positive? Okay. Label the homework. The next page behind Monday is Tuesday. We're working on distributive property. Some people already did that. What's wrong? Oh. That's why I'm not sitting you back there. You already know because you already talking to them and you ain't even there. All right, put this in your folder. What side of the folder we gonna put this on? Work to do. Take out your notebook. And I gave you a little slip of paper that has inequalities on it. This is going to be page 16. Solving inequalities. All right, let's put on our thinking caps. We're going to use the same rules. We're going to use the same rules for solving equations as with solving inequalities, with just one exception. And we're going to go over that one exception that you probably already know. Yes, baby. You don't have little half sheets? Okay. Anybody else need a half sheet? Raise your hand so I'll know. Okay. Can you pass this back? You have one also, baby? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're going to be solving inequalities. Let's write down the inequalities. We have our equal sign that we use for equations. I'm going to write this down. This is equal to. We use that with equations. We have a line, equal sign with a line going through it. This means it's not equal to. Okay. We have a sign that looks like this. Okay, this is less than. We have a sign that looks like this. This is what? Less than or equal to. Okay. We have a sign that looks like, oops, I was going to redraw the same thing again, y'all. See, I'm crazy. Your teacher is crazy. This symbol, which one is this sign? Greater than. Greater than. Everybody's accent, I know my accent is kind of different, which is why sometimes I'm afraid to say people's names because I know I'm never going to get that right. I've tried it or I'll say it really, really fast so they don't know I said it wrong. But when you have like a country accent, sometimes certain words are really difficult for you to say. Or if you have a northern accent and you know, you're not going to say certain words the way people want you to say them. So I'll try to say it real fast so that you don't notice that I'm saying it wrong because I cannot, certain letters I just, so difficult to say. And people are so funny about these names now. Like now, I'm telling you, they will spit on you for saying their name wrong. It's like, really? Calm down. I didn't birth you. What? I gave you a nickname. Yes, I'll call you. I like that name. Baby Cheeks. I call everybody those names because they're so cute. Are they not cute? Yes, they are super cute. Thank you. And plus, you can't say like he or she or her or them. So I just come up with little pet names that it can go either way, right? And still being respectful, right? So like Baby Cheeks, and it's like showing you that I love you, and I don't want to say like the wrong pronoun. Makes sense. All right, here we go. Purple is my favorite color, so Purple Cheeks is fine with me. All right, here we go. So we're using the same rules for solving for solving equations. Use same rules for solving inequalities. Use the same rules for solving equations. Sorry, y'all. To solve inequalities. The only thing is different that is if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, the inequality is going to flip. That's the only difference that we're doing. And I need to make this plural, inequalities. Okay. And I'm going to write what I just said here in a minute. I still see some people writing, so I'm slowing it down. You didn't eat today? Or you're growing, you eat a lot?
No, I just forgot to pack my lunch. Well, I packed it, but I kind of forgot to pack
more food?
Yeah. I'm a growing
You're a growing kid. I'm not growing anymore, and I still like to eat. So it is what it is.
I love to eat.
Me too. All right. If you multiply or divide both sides of the inequality, not the equal sign, but of the inequality, oh, me? Oh, okay. He can't help it. All right. Of the inequality by a negative number. Yep. Don't worry about the bells. They're off because of the scheduling. Flip the inequality, okay? Shh, guys, it's on the board. Please stop interrupting me. And I'm going to show you why here in a minute. We're going to do the why. So that way it'll make sense to you. If you know why, it might make sense why we do it. Flip. You multiply or divide both sides of the inequality by a negative number. You're going to flip the inequality. And Ms. Reyes, why does that happen? I'm going to show you why. All right, if I have a -3 on this side and I have a +5 on this side, what inequality do I put in the middle to make this true? Less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. We put less than. This is less than, okay? All right, so now let's divide both sides by a negative number. So I divide this by a negative and divide this by a negative. What's that going to give me over here? +3. And what's that going to give me over here? -5. So if I bring down this inequality, is that going to make it true or false? False. So what do I have to do with the inequality to make this true? I have to flip it. So that's the real reason why when you multiply or divide by a negative number, that inequality must flip in order to make that math sentence true. Okay? If you just continue to bring it down, after you do that, that math sentence is no longer true. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Yes, babe.
So I'm trying to think of wait, no, that would just be so like if you had two negative numbers and then you divide it by a negative number.
It's still gonna be the same, baby. If it's already a negative here and you divide by a negative, that's gonna make it a positive. If it's already a positive here and you divide by a negative, it's gonna make it a negative.
Well,
so there's no way around that.
Circumstances where you roll back unless it's equal.
Unless, no, it's not going to be a certain, if it's equal, then it's not going to make it true anymore. It's going to be not equal at that point. Yes, baby. Because we need to show that if we multiply or divide by a negative number, the reason why that inequality is going to flip is because the values are going to change. Instead of this being a -3, now it's going to be positive. Instead of this being a +5, now it's going to be negative. So because the values change, the inequality is going to have to change also. Okay, all of those are good questions. You might, even if you divide both sides by a -2, the same thing is going to happen, because you're going to have -3 over here, 5 over here, and let's divide by a -3. It doesn't matter. Okay, this is going to be a +1. This is going to be a negative number. Negative, now 5 over 3. That inequality is still going to flip because a negative number is still going to be smaller than that positive number. Does that make sense?
How do you know what number to divide by?
Because it's going to be in the equation.
Oh, did you just pick this? Or
Yeah, I just made these up.
Oh.
All right, let's do some examples. Yeah, I just made those up, baby. All right, I'm doing the first problem on the half sheet. 3 is greater than the expression, algebraic expression. Okay, so I'm going to use the same rules for solving equations. The only thing that's different is if I multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, I have to flip that inequality. But all my steps are going to stay the same. Okay, so what's my first step? Using the step for solving an equation, what would I do first for this? Combine like terms. When I combine like terms here, what does that give me? -3 in. Bring down the inequality. Okay. Yeah, babe. I'm sorry. Oh. We didn't do anything. What did we do? We didn't do anything. Combine like, all we did was combine like terms. Where are y'all lost?
Oh.
That's all we did was add this together. Y'all, we didn't do nothing. We just added it.
You had like 2 different sides. So
There's like a
We didn't do it. What did we do? Tell me, what we do? Do you know -5n plus 2n is -3, right? That's all we did. It's not because it's not an equal sign.
No, it's like signs the other way. Just threw me off. Oh my god.
because it's a fraction.
Because it's a fraction. No fractions. No. Oh no, he just told me I wrote it wrong. You did say fraction. I was like, where's the fraction? Look, I'm looking. Where's the fraction? All right, what's the next step? Shh, stay focused so we don't lose somebody else. What's the next step? How do we get n by itself? Divide both sides by what number? Okay. What's +3 divided by -3? This is -1. Come on, y'all. What's going to happen to the inequality? It's going to flip. The only time we flip the inequality is when you divide or multiply by a negative number. If this wasn't a negative number, just bring it down. You can step outside and blow your nose, baby cheeks. What's -3 divided by -3? +1. So that's +1n.
I'm so confused right now.
The answer to this problem is going to be all the numbers that are going to be smaller than n. So what are the possible numbers that n could be? What could n be? N could be, no, it could be -2.
I'm lost.
Yo, this number is bigger. Look, this is bigger. The mouth is open here. What numbers can go here? -2 can go here. What else? -3. What else? -5. -10. Yes, this has multiple answers. It's an inequality. Huh? No, it can't be -1 because it's not equal to. Because you would have to have an equal to here. You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do another one. Mason went and blowed his nose. He was blowing an organ out of you. Yes, babe, go ahead.
So,
Shh. Guys, let me be able to hear. Go ahead.
so a -1 and then a positive.
No. What number can I plug in here to make this true? What number? I can't plug in a negative. I cannot plug in a -1 there because there's no equal to. I can plug in a -2. I can plug in a -3. I can plug in a -5. I can plug in a -10. You got it? With inequalities, you have multiple answers. The equal sign for an equation, you only got one answer. It's equal to just this number. An inequality, it could be multiple answers because it's an inequality.
I was just confused because I thought the N meant like positive.
You making up stuff now. All right, number 2. 6x plus 2. All right. All right, here we go. Solving an equation. Use the same steps for solving an equation. The only thing that's going to be different is if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. So let's use the same steps. Do we have distributive property? No. Okay. Next, combine like terms. Can we combine like terms?
Yes.
What can we combine?
6x.
Which is what? 12x. So I have 12x here, and I bring down the what? Plus 2. Bring down the
14.
less than sign and the 14. You're not wrong. Shh, shut your face. Shh. All right, so now we solve for x. So how do we get x by itself? Which one do we move first? No, the 2. How do we get rid of a positive 2? We're subtracting. This is not multiplication. This is subtraction. We're subtracting 2. We're still good. 2 minus 2 is 0, and we're left with 12x. Bring down the inequality. Just bring it down. What is 14 minus 2? 12. Okay, so now we got to get x by itself. How do you get x by itself? Divide both sides by 12. What's 12 divided by 12? 1x. Or we can just write x. Bring down the inequality. What's 12 divided by 12? 1. This is my answer. That means my values for x have to be less than. Okay, so what can we have for x? What numbers? We can do -2. What else? We could do 0. -10, -5. Any number that's smaller than 1. Any questions about that? Any questions? Yes, baby.
What we just did.
Yeah.
Okay, this is easy. Okay, I get not easy.
You do number 3 and put your calculators back. It's on the sheet, baby cheeks.
Oh, these are the same. Wait, I'm not doing number.
No, listen. I'm not about to add number lines if y'all are confused about negative and positive right now. So just ignore the number line for right now, and I'll go back and teach the number line. But for right now, you need to be able to solve it right before you can graph. So solve it right before you grad. So don't be adding extra steps and you ain't got the steps. No, write it on the in a notebook.